Welcome to Community Pulse. I'm your host, Carmen Palmer. It is an honor and a privilege today to meet with Steve Glenn, the CEO and founder of Plant Prefab, located right here in Rialto, California.
We design and develop custom, high-quality, sustainable, single and multifamily housing. We're working with individuals who are doing homes, mostly in urban areas. When you're building in cities, you're having to hire an architect to do projects. They're custom because the lot sizes vary, the zoning varies, design requirements vary, and we're giving people who are doing that a more efficient, high-quality, sustainable way to build those homes.
And not only is it efficient, but in some ways it's cost-effective as well, correct?
Yeah.
Wonderful. And a previous conversation that we had, you mentioned how it's a lot less environmental impact for neighbors and surrounding people as far as the building goes. So while foundation work can be done on site, you're doing the construction right here in the facility.
Yeah, so in a traditional process, construction process, you have to do the site work first, the grading and foundation and utilities before you can start framing and electrical and plumbing and finish work. That's the traditional process, and it can take a while. And if there are weather problems, that causes delays, and subcontractors are very busy these days and get over schedule, that can cause delays. With how we do it, as you're working on the site work, we're working on the modules off-site, and we build in 1, 2, 3 months, depending upon the size of the project. So we work in parallel to the site work. That means faster. We're building here in Rialto, and the costs here are much less than they are in, for example, the west side of Los Angeles, so it can be more cost-effective. And we're saving people in those neighborhoods a lot of disruption from a longer construction schedule, more trucks, traffic, noise that normally would be involved in doing what the industry calls the vertical, above the foundation. So it's really a win for everybody, for the home buyer, the person creating the home, or the developer. We definitely can save half the time. We can save money, depends on where it is. And we save the local neighbors a lot of disruption and noise.
Also, one of the things that I was very impressed with was the fact that landfills are going to have less of an impact because of the way that you're doing things here. It's a quarter less energy. There's just so many more environmentally wonderful benefits that it has on the world as a whole. How important is it to you that we leave a better world for our next generation?
Building in a more responsible way is kind of core DNA for us. Buildings have an enormous impact on the environment. They use more energy. So specifically, if you look at the energy required to heat, cool buildings versus all of transportation as a sector versus all of industry, manufacturing as a sector, buildings use more energy, they emit more carbon emissions. So for those of us who care about climate change, who believe we have a short amount of time to radically reduce our environmental footprint, buildings are the worst problem, the problem we need to fix. So we are dedicated to building in a more responsible way. So we're very conscious of the materials we put in the buildings, the energy use, the water use, and then you were mentioning about waste. Building on site is very wasteful. 30–40% of your materials end up in landfill. Here, maybe 2 to 10% actually end up in landfill. We reuse a lot of materials because we have a central facility. So they're just great benefits. And that's on the sustainability side. There are health issues too. We care a lot about indoor air quality. We do things to reduce indoor air pollution.
And from what I understand by studies that have been done, the indoor has a huge impact on the way people are able to perform at higher levels, and the way that they respond to their environment, which just makes sense. Where did you know that you were going to take a lifestyle, turn it into a passion, and then from there create? Plant Prefab?
Well, growing up, my first love was architecture. I had blocks and Legos and wanted to be an architect, books on Frank Lloyd Wright. Got to college, got involved in technology, which is where I spent my career before here, but while I was in college, I did a summer design program and realized that I had neither the talent nor temperament to be an architect, I concluded. But I learned about developers, and one in particular, a guy named Jim Rouse, who really became my first role model. By example, I never met him, but he helped me to appreciate that if you really care about the quality of the built environment, developers are much more important than architects because they set the agenda, they control what gets built, and he also turned me on to this idea of businesses that wed profit and purpose. So I was like, I should become a developer someday. I don't have talent, in my opinion, to be a great architect, but the world could use more responsible developers, and so that was the plan. But I spent a kind of first chunk of my career in tech, and then brought a CEO into the last company I started, took some time off and did some nonprofit work, and then started the design firm Living Homes, which grew into the bigger company, which is Plant Prefab.
And when you talk about responsible work ethics, as far as the development side, the building side, there's certain criteria that need to be met on projects in order to become a LEED, L-E-E-D, leader in energy and environmental design, and which a lot of your projects have been deemed platinum LEED, correct?
Yeah, so LEED is a green building certification program. It was started by the United States Green Building Council, which is a nonprofit, 20-some years ago, maybe a little longer. And it's really the biggest, by far, national green building certification program. So you get points for things that make your buildings, not just homes, they have LEED for other types of buildings, more energy efficient, water efficient, resource efficient, better indoor air quality. And based on those points, you can get certified or silver or gold or platinum. Platinum's their highest. And the first home we ever designed at Living Homes, which is actually my home in Santa Monica, was the first home ever to achieve platinum. That was 13 years ago. And we've had, I think, 27 or 28 homes certified platinum since, and a number gold. And that's more than almost any design firm, so yeah.
Congratulations on
Thank
that. Now, if we can go back, which one went up in 8 hours?
Well, lots of our homes have been built. I mean, that was my home, but we've had homes that get assembled in 3 hours. They're not move-in ready.
Right.
There's more work to do, but yeah, they're 90%.
Can you imagine a neighbor leaving to work in the morning, coming back, and there's a structure right there?
It happened. I saw it with my neighbor who left early before the mods were installed and came back. I literally saw his expression. Yeah,
that's
cool.
Awesome. Getting back to the LEED, there's 9 different areas of criteria that need to be made, everywhere from location, transportation, sustainable sites, water and efficiency, energy and atmosphere, materials and resources, indoor environmental quality, innovation, and regional priority. It's not like it's a simple list to achieve. And I know the point system goes anywhere from 40 to, in order to achieve platinum, it's 80 and above. And for you to be able to have met the platinum standard so many times is a huge accomplishment.
That's what we're doing.
Again, how many projects do we have working simultaneously?
I think we have 8 or 9 right now.
Okay. And about how many contractors do you have working out there?
They're full-time staff, yeah.
Wonderful.
We have, I think, I'm not sure currently, but I think we're up to 64, 65 people. Some at our design studio in Santa Monica, but the vast majority are out here.
And it's developed into this wonderful thing. Now, with cities rising astronomically, I believe the numbers by 2050 are going to be amazing as far as how many people live in a city. Where do you see Plant Prefab?
Hopefully supplying more and more housing. I mean, the world is becoming more urbanized. The US is becoming more urbanized. For those of us who care about climate change, this is a good thing. It means people are closer to resources and transportation and jobs. And so we've got to figure out more efficient ways to build housing in cities. Many of the projects will be very large projects, tall projects that's not our gig, but other people are focused on that. Our projects are the smaller projects that happen in cities, and those are going to happen too. We've done a lot of cool things. I mean, we've been very fortunate.
And from where you started to where you are now, as far as the manufacturing that goes on here, improvements, you've learned a few things, you've ditched a few philosophies.
Of course. I mean, you know, we've been around for the design studio is 13 years old. This factory is 3 years old. Yeah, we've learned a lot of things. And we still are. We'll always, hopefully, always be learning things. I mean, we've got big aspirations. We're going to be building more factories. We better be learning. We better be improving. Absolutely.
The first time we met, I asked you just how would you describe the environment here, and what is the one thing that you operate on that means the most to you? And you said the golden rule.
Yeah, we just try to treat people as we expect to be treated.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
Absolutely. Yeah. Great being here.
We wish you much success.
Thank you.
Here in the city of Rialto. You have been such a positive light, and we learn to hear much more success coming from you in the future.
I hope.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
On behalf of everyone at Rialto Network, this is Carmen Palmer from Community Pulse, urging everyone to move forward and make a difference.